You're hanging out with the crew of Demon 305, and we are in North Miami here at the police department with none other than Chief Gause. Thank you so much for having us, Chief. We appreciate your time.
Thank you for being here.
Oh man,
we've been trying to make this
we finally made it, right?
While. I grew up in New York, came here about nine or 10 years old. We first came here and lived down south. So I
Where
went
down
through,
south?
Richmond Heights area.
Okay, the Heights. Okay,
yeah, the Heights.
I used to go to church. There's a good Popeyes in Richmond Heights.
Yeah. So I went to Richmond Middle School.
Okay.
I graduated from Miami Southridge Senior High School, and I started with the City of Miami Police Department. That's where I started my career.
1993?
1993, started as a civilian dispatcher, went through all the ranks there, and left there in 2023 as the first assistant chief with the City of Miami Police Department, and came here. I had the opportunity to come here and be the chief of police for North Miami Police Department, and August will be 3 years.
You matriculated through all these schools, and I think one of the important things is talk to me a little bit about the importance of college and what role that played in your life.
So definitely, schooling is important, obviously, right? Because what I realized as I was going through leadership in the police department is that if I really wanted to take this seriously and get to the stage that I'm at now, I had to continue my education. So really didn't know what I wanted to do straight out of high school, went to Miami-Dade, but I was actually working, and I had a mentor that was pouring into me and said, hey, you need to do these things if you expect to, move up to various levels in the police department through the ranks. And that's what I did. So I went back to school and got 2 additional degrees, and all while I was at the police department working full-time, had a family and everything.
You did all that while you had a family?
All of that. All of that while I had a family. So if I could say anything, is do it early and young when you don't have all of those other obligations. And then of course, just continuing my leadership and honing in on those skills, going to the FBI, National Academy, and various professional development trainings that I've taken to get me to this point.
Tell me a little bit about at what point does Delta Sigma Theta come into your life, and how valuable has that experience been throughout these years?
So it's been amazing. I think for me, I've always been a person that wants to, I consider myself a servant leader, right? Always wanted to help others, give back to the community. So in spring of 2017, I had the opportunity to pledge grad chapter with the South Broward Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. And so it's been amazing for me so far. Been able to do so much in the community. Even, when you look at developing, furthering, my professional leadership skills, it's just been amazing. It's been amazing.
Talk to me a little bit about what Miami was like in the 90s. You're a dispatcher in 1993. First of all, what made you even want to go into that field?
All right, so let's start off, right? I'm a little bit different than a lot of other people because I didn't grow up saying I wanted to be a police officer, or, my dad was a police officer. I was the first in my family to be a police officer. And so I think for many people, like I've talked about before, it was George Floyd, but we had Rodney King way back when. And so one of the things I wanted to do was get into, one of the things, quite honestly, is I needed a job, right? But the other thing was being able to be a part of the solution. And so my opinion of officers wasn't a very good one, not because of anything that I had personally experienced, but just what I had seen happening in our communities. And so that was the segue into me going into law enforcement. And as a part of my training as a dispatcher, we had to ride along with an officer for a few weeks just to learn geography. But that was a moment, or the aha moment, I would say, for me, is I saw a different side of policing. The officer, and he's no longer with us, but Harvey Nairn was the officer that I was with. He just taught me a different side of policing. People in the community knew him by first name. Everywhere we went, whether it was a store or community, they knew him. Officer Harvey, he was just that guy. And I was like, wow, I had never seen this type of relationship with police and community. And so that is where, my inquisitiveness started, and he encouraged me to apply and become a police officer. So I can definitely say that I've witnessed the way that the policing profession has evolved from the 90s all the way to now. I'm in my 33rd year in law enforcement. So I've seen a lot, and am happy to be able to see the progress that has been made, especially when it comes to communities. You know, when I was growing up, there wasn't, you know, community policing and all of these events and so forth for everybody that's in the community. But now you see that a lot more, and so many agencies across the nation are making community engagement a priority.
One thing that you alluded to was the navigation of race and space and responsibility. How does gender come into play with all this too?
Yeah, gender is a big issue. It still is, right? We've definitely come a very long way because women in law enforcement only represent about 12% of the workforce. And so when you look at the number of women that are police chiefs, you're looking at about 1 to 3%, which is even less, right? And so growing up in that time, there weren't a lot of women, right? You have to be able to see what you want to be, if you will. And there wasn't a lot of women in the Miami Police Department. Don't get me wrong, there were a few, but now you see so many more women in law enforcement at these levels. And fortunately enough, there was a time just a few years ago when there were at least 5 leading agencies right here in Miami-Dade County. And right now we have about 3. And then you also have a director of corrections. So, you know, all of whom, you know, we share stories with. I actually had the opportunity to myself, Director Stephanie Daniels, who's retired, as well as Chief Delma Noel Pratt from Miami Gardens. We actually started a organization for women in law enforcement right here in Miami-Dade County that we want to actually stretch through the entire state of Florida because the support is so needed.
One thing I've noticed, you know, we've had the pleasure of interviewing many chiefs, and one thing that I've seen is this notion of sacrifice. Not just like on the physical, you know, you're willing to give up your life, but also on the mental side of sacrifice. I see a lot of sacrifice that it took to get to your position, you know, as a person who has a family, even deciding to go through Delta, you know, all these things just sacrifice upon sacrifice upon sacrifice. And I think for our younger viewers, what would you tell them when they think that things just kind of happen overnight? What do you say to folks like that?
I honestly think that, you know, just social media and this generation play a significant role in that, but just understanding that you put in the work. You know, reward is going to come from the work that you put in, and just knowing that things don't happen overnight, right? I didn't achieve this success overnight. It's been several years in the making for me to reach this point. So I think also having patience, being able to put in the work, being able to continue your education, all of those things are important if you want to reach a particular goal.
We're in a space here in our city where, you know, there's a huge Haitian demographic.
Yeah.
You're kind of intersecting all these lines, a lot of intersectionality going on.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that? I think there's pressure, there's responsibility, there's a sense of duty, there's like a lot of things compounded.
Right.
How do you make sense of that in your position?
And so listen, I think, as you know, we do have in North Miami a very large population of Haitian Americans. And so for me, it's a sense of duty, it's a sense of obligation. I want to make sure that I'm doing things the right way and representing, you know, everyone in that right way. I think that also it's just important to have diversity in your respective areas, because when I'm engaging with the community, or many of our officers are Haitian American, you know, a lot of our residents have someone that they can relate to, that they, you know, they understand, that can speak their language. So I think it says a lot, and I just want to always make sure that I'm representing, you know, our country in a positive light. I think that, you know, Haitian people are people of resilience, and have gone through a lot, right? So we don't want to be a part of the problem. We lost the game. We lost the game. But there are a couple more to come. We might have an opportunity for redemption.
Resilient people. So what are some of your favorite things about being a chief here in North Miami?
Oh my gosh. First of all, the officers.
Okay.
Right? We have an amazing department. I like that this department is family oriented. Obviously, you have some departments where it's not so pleasant, right? And there's a lot of maybe controversy all the time. One of the biggest things is that it is very family oriented, close-knit department. And I would say the same thing with the community. The community is very engaged. We have a very robust community policing program. And so I think those are the things, but I think what really makes North Miami great is the diversity that we have. It's a little bit of everything. And as a community, they come together and work with one another for the better of the community.
What are some things that we can look forward to here in the future?
Well, we've done a lot so far.
Okay.
I think we start there because since being here, we have advanced so much with our community policing. We've done some dynamic things with our team, building up a really cohesive command staff, and we have engaged significantly in having a strategic plan, right? So because I think you need to know where it is that you're going. So we do have a 5-year strategic plan. We have really advanced in the area of technology, whether it comes to license plate readers and flock cameras. We're having a new CAD RMS system, new body-worn cameras, new tasers. So especially coming from a major city police department, one of my main priorities was to make sure that a mid-sized agency like North Miami can have everything that a larger city does, right? Because we want to make sure that we're effective in what we're doing and how we're addressing the concerns and crime in the community. And so what you can look forward to is us continuing to hone in on that and moving forward in that space so that we have the latest and greatest technology, and our crime stats are really good right now, but we want to keep moving toward reducing crime because as we know, one crime is one too many, right? So we want to continue to do that. I think in the future, we want to increase the size of our department to meet the demands of growth that's happening here. So just dynamic opportunities for us to be even better than we are.
Did you ever imagine that you would be in this position with the type of responsibility that you have right now?
No. What I would say is that God has blessed me immensely. Throughout my career, He's covered me. And so I really am just so grateful to Him, because without Him, I wouldn't be sitting here. So no, I didn't have any idea. No, in my mind, nowhere did I say, oh, I want to be a chief of police one day. But I knew that, like I told you, so many mentors. I know I named Chief Colina, but just so many people that I've had to pour into me and say, you can do this. You have what it takes. You can do this. So one, I think to have someone to believe in you, but sometimes I have to pinch myself and say, wow, I started off as a dispatcher. But I think what I get the most gratification from is when I see other dispatchers or secretaries. There's always this thing about civilian versus sworn, and where civilian personnel, or I like to say professional staff, they don't necessarily feel valued, right? But they can look at me and say, well, if she can do it, so can I. And so I think that is really good for me. I think the fact that I've been able to go back and help so many people through their careers and pull so many people up and pour into them is just amazing to me. So that's my way of giving back.